Hi, it's James Mitchell here. I'm the CEO at Workshop Software. I am super pumped to have you on this masterclass today. Stick with it. You're going to get a massive amount of value out of this. I want to jam-pack it full of heaps of information on how you can take your business from where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow using Workshop Software, using some cool principles. I'm going to run through some amazing stuff over the next little while, and I'm going to jam-pack it full of value to get your business to the next level. So what I want to do is we're going to go through a little bit about how this masterclass is going to work and a little bit about how we are to get started. And I'm also want to let you know that right at the very end, I'm going to give you a super option about how to take up Workshop Software and a super deal that, to be honest, has never been offered before. So stick around for that and stay tuned for what that's going to be at the end. So first up, I'm just going to jump into what Workshop Software is about. It's about software for mechanical workshops. So if you're a car mechanic, it could be trucks, motorcycles, RVs, it could be marine, you could even be power equipment, all sorts of, if you service vehicles or service some type of equipment, farm machinery, all of that sort of stuff, buses, trucks, automobiles, planes even. You can be any type of mechanical workshop, and Workshop Software is going to work for you. It'll handle all the front-end management of your business, and it'll let it do all the work for you. Integrates to some of the world's best accounting packages, so you can make your accountant and bookkeeper really, really happy. And it's a super simple, easy mechanical workshop system for your business that's going to get you up and running and get you to where you want to be. So welcome to the masterclass. What we're going to do is I'm just going to have a quick introduction, and then we're going to get stuck straight into the actual masterclass itself. So what you're going to get from today is, first up, I'm going to go through some of those key business principles on how to get your workshop from where it is today to where you want to go tomorrow. And so we're going to talk a little bit about business and a little bit about what the current situation is and how you can beat your competition. That's really what I want to do. I want to empower you to take you so that you can be the best workshop around, right? So that's what I'm going to start off with. We're going to talk a little bit about business, and then we're going to roll up the sleeves. We're going to do a deep dive into Workshop Software. I'm going to show you exactly how it works and show you some of the key features in Workshop Software, some of the things that will take you to another level in your business, and some really amazing things that you're going to get super great value out of, your investment in Workshop Software, which is a very, very small monthly investment. And the value that you can get out of Workshop Software is phenomenal, really, for the kind of power that it has, for the price that it is truly amazing. And at the end, like I say, stick around because I've got a super offer that I think you can't refuse. So stay around to the end and make sure that you listen in for that. So let's now get stuck into it. Roll up our sleeves, jump straight in, and get started. So let's go. Alrighty, so let's first start off with where you're at today. So the current situation in the automotive aftermarket is it's getting tough out there, guys, to be honest. Like, what's happening is that you go back, let's say 10 or 15 years ago, you had dealerships who, quite frankly, they just didn't care about their service departments. They cared about selling vehicles. That's where they made their money. They wanted to move cars. They just wanted to sell them. They made lots of good money out of it, and business was really great. Fast forward 10 or 15 years to today, and what they're about giving away cars essentially for nothing. They make no money out of it, and they want to take your business away from you. So what I want to show you today is how you can turn your business and compete with a dealership. Because typically a dealership is big, it's backed by a franchise, it's hard to turn, it's a big organization, and it's hard for them to change. With us being small to medium-sized workshops, maybe we belong to a group, that's absolutely cool, but in order to be able to change your business, you can do it pretty quickly and you can compete with these dealers. Don't think that you can't, and I want to show you some ways that we can do that today. So where the current situation is that, the dealers are starting to compete with your business. Then we've got cars that are requiring less service. So, they're becoming, service intervals are longer, they're more reliable, you don't have quite so many repairs, that sort of stuff. And the customer experience today as well, they have a very high level of customer experience because most of the places that they go to, even forgetting getting their car service, but the type of typical experience that a customer has in any kind of dealings that they have with another business is they typically get pretty good service, and they expect that you're going to give them that great service as well. And I know that most, if not all of you guys out there, I'm sure that you're massively cool, you're amazing at how you can go and fix a car, right? You're really great at that. That's awesome, and well done to you. One of the things that I see after doing this for 25 years now is that one of the areas where you struggle is in that front end, being able to look after your customers, being able to make sure that you give that amazing customer service. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people do it really well, but I reckon that you can do it absolutely amazingly well. And I'm going to also give you a couple of tips and tricks on how you can do that really, really easily and really, really simply. So let's go. So first up, I'm just going to run you through just a few of the workshop software features, and just to give you a bit of a broad understanding about what workshop software can do and how it works. So that's what we're going to go through in this masterclass. So first of all, one of the things that workshop software can do is it integrates with all of the major accounting packages, and it also integrates with Repco SmartLink. I'm going to show you how that Repco SmartLink works a little bit later on in this masterclass, but in terms of the integration with some of the major accounting packages, what happens is, the idea is that in the past, what happened is that you bought very complex, expensive systems, cost thousands of dollars. Your accountant hated them because they wanted you to run MYOB or something like that, and what was happening was you got charged huge amounts of money from your accountant because they'd get this old clunky system that didn't really work very well, and they really wanted you to use, let's say, MYOB, and you were using this other application, and they found it hard to look after you from an accounting perspective, and so therefore it took them a lot more time. They charged you more money. Nowadays, what happens is that we've got amazingly cool accounting applications out there that are online, that are super simple to use. They're so quick and easy. They do things like bank feeds. You can pretty much run your books in next to no time at all, and you can integrate workshop software directly with all of the major accounting packages. So what this means is that you can just do your front end in workshop software, and then you do your back end in, say, Xero or QuickBooks or MYOB Sage, whatever it might be, and your accountant, your bookkeeper are super happy because they love those applications. By moving to these applications like a Xero or a QuickBooks or whatever, you should be able to save the money that you spend on those applications purely in accounting fees. So if you're using an old automotive application that the accountant's charging you X amount of dollars, thousands of dollars a year, and you moved from that old clunky application into something, let's say Xero, you should save the $600 that you're going to spend on Xero should be absolutely saved just in accounting fees alone. So in other words, it's not costing you anything to move into these applications. Coupled with getting the most out of your front end with workshop software, you've got a win-win because you love the front end of workshop software, handles all your workflow, all your management, all your vehicles, all of that sort of stuff. And in the back end, your accountant, bookkeeper, they're all happy too. Your admin staff are going to be happy because they're using an awesome accounting application. So the integration's amazing. You really should check it out. So let's just jump into just a few of the key features as well. You can just click the plus sign up the top right, create a job card in seconds. I'm going to show you how that works. The invoicing, syncs with your favorite accounting package. Again, super simple to work. You can create bookings, payments, and all that sort of stuff by just the click of a button. Assign, multiple vehicles for one customer. You can have, one vehicle, 10 vehicles, 100 vehicles against one customer if you want to. Really simple to use and manage. And this SMS service reminders is super important. I'm going to go through that in a little bit more detail in a little while because I think that that's what I'm talking about with the customer service. Just taking your customer service up that extra little notch so that instead of providing great customer service, let's go to awesome customer service, and I'm going to run you through how that works. So just those few key features: job management, customer engagement, that's hugely important, how you can get your service reminders and SMSs. The integration's amazing. They're really, really cool. There's also a mobile app where you can do things like clock on and mechanics, and you can take photos and attach them to jobs. You've got to check the mobile app out. Simply go to if you're an iPhone user, go to the App Store. If you're an Android user, go to the Google Play and just search for Workshop Software. Download the mobile app and install it and hook it up with your Workshop software. And I'm going to show you how you do that through this masterclass as well, because that is really, really cool. Imagine having photos against your job and being able to show your customer a photo, or even just store it against the job just for your own use. It's super simple. Easy invoicing, super simple to do. I'm going to show you how quick and easy that is as well. I'm even going to show you how you can do an invoice in literally about 10 seconds and do like a quick cash sale, that sort of stuff. It's awesome. And mate, we've been doing this for over 30 years. We were developed in 1984. We've had automotive software all that time. Workshop software has been out since about 2014, and Workshop software has been going amazingly well since then, and it's been huge for us, and it's been an amazing success, and I want it to be an amazing success for your business. But you know that you've got a business that's been in this game for a long time. We're here, we've been involved for that period of time, and we can help you to get to where you want to go. So let's now jump into what is going to happen and how we can get you to where you need to be. So again, those solutions about accounting integrations, that's really cool. And your streamlined management. And I want to go into a little bit more detail about streamlining your management, because I mentioned that the app just a minute ago. This is a picture of the actual iPhone app or the Android app. They're essentially the same thing. And basically, you go choose a job, you click on clock in, you go off and do the work, and you click on clock out when you've actually finished the job, and away you go. It is literally that simple. I'll show you this in live in just a second. But what you can also do is you can scan the job card. So the job card's actually got a barcode on it, so you can use the phone's camera, and you can go off and do scan the barcode with the camera. It finds that job card. You then go and click on clock in, and away you go, and it's super simple to do. So got to check out the app. That is just such a time saver and just helps you to clock in, clock out. And the same, it also does photos as well. So we're going to go through that in a little bit. But one of my really, things that I think are super, super, super important. This is what the dealerships do. I spoke about dealerships earlier on. Have a think about what a dealership does. They get in touch with people to get them back to get their services done. They do that for a reason, because there's money in it and it's good customer service. Now, my experience over doing this for 25 years is that almost all mechanical, small to medium size aftermarket mechanical workshops don't do their customer service follow-ups anywhere near as well as what they should. In the past, what has typically happened is that you've gone and maybe you've had the ability to actually, for example, send out emails, for argument's sake, or letters for when somebody's service was due. But the process, you actually had to go through a process to do it. The process might even be simple, but you still had to go through a process. What would happen is, my experience is what I saw is customers, when they weren't busy, they'd actually go and send service reminders. And when they were busy, they wouldn't send service reminders. So they had this up and down sort of scenario where they were getting customers coming in, and then they were getting customers, that they needed customers, so they went out and got more. What we've created in Workshop Software, one of the things after years of being involved in this industry that I wanted to make absolutely certain Workshop Software could do, was to be able to send your service reminders out automatically. Imagine you just didn't have to do anything and you had your customers coming in the door. This is gold, guys. This is why I'm so excited about customer service retention, because I think it's, I want you to compete with the dealers. I want you to compete with, other workshops, and using Workshop Software for this thing alone will pay for Workshop Software multiple times over, and you should be using it, and it's just awesome. You just go set once, forget, and it just does it for you. So let's just have a quick look at this, right? And think about what it means to get a customer back in your door. What's the service worth to you? There's probably a couple of $100 in a service by the time you do an hour's labor. Say $100, $150 worth of parts, and you make, say, 50% gross profit on parts, maybe something like that. So there's $75. There's $100 worth of labor. It's $175. Easy get to $200. A service is probably worth between $100 and $200 gross profit for you and your business. So imagine getting more and more services and more customers back in your business. The customer that you currently have is the easiest customer to get, right? Don't worry, of course you want to go get new customers, but let's focus more on looking after our existing customers and making sure that they come back in the door more often than going out and getting new customers, because it's a lot more difficult to get new customers that know you, customers that trust you. They're easier to work with. They're happier to spend more money with you because of that level of trust. And by increasing your service retention with these guys, it's something that you guys can do. And it just makes it so much simpler for the customer as well. Customers get to know you and they trust you, spend more money. So let's have a look at what it's like. So this is the actual service reminder. So basically what we do is we go automatically send reminders. We say yes, and we go and set the email and the SMS messages. And basically what happens is just every day it says who's due for service at a predetermined date. So in this instance, we've got it as 14 days from now. So today it will check 14 days from now and we'll say who's due for service, and it will send them either an SMS or an email automatically based upon their service retention or their options around whether they want to get an email or an SMS. You can also print them out. So if you wanted to print a document for certain people that might want to do documents, you can do documents as well. But it will just automatically go and do it. For those clients in New South Wales, in Australia, we also do registration renewals for when a registration is due. And we also do WOF reminders for our clients in New Zealand. And of course, this can be used anywhere in the world. We've got heaps of clients all around the world. And but there are some specific things, reminders that we do for certain places. So that's how you set it up. I'm going to show you it in real life as well in just a second. So let's move on. This next bit that I want to show you is super exciting. This is an amazing way that you can win more work from your customer. Again, how you compete with the dealerships. These guys have been using tools like this for a very long time, and they use them for a reason, because they know they get value out of it. And what this is an inspection tool that allows you to easily go and inspect the vehicle for all sorts of different types of inspections. You can set up your own inspections and all that sort of business. You can go and send that inspection off to the client and get them to approve work. So what I want to do is I'm going to jump in there and show you this right now, but this is a really cool amazing tool that I think is well worth taking a look at inside Workshop Software. For complete clarity, this is actually the only extra add-on that we have in Workshop Software. So it is a paid tool, but everything else that you're going to see, or everything else in Workshop Software, is actually included. The only additional thing that you pay for in Workshop Software is when you send an SMS, and if you add additional users. They're the only add-on charges that you would potentially have with Workshop Software. And this auto inspection tool is also an optional module if you think it's worthwhile for your business. And I would recommend you turn it on during your trial. There's no charge for it during the trial. Give it a go. Have a look at it. It's really awesome. So let's go take a look. Create a new inspection, search for a customer, choose their vehicle, choose the visual check that you want to do, click the boxes, we're going to enter in any issues, anything that needs attention, finish the inspection, click save. The inspection's now been saved. Click here, email the inspection off to the customer. Enter in the details, click send. The customer will get the email now. In the dashboard, you can see that there's a requested item that you've sent off to your customer. You can jump then into the customer's email, or the customer gets their email, and they then can go off and click on this link. They can see the work, what needs to be done, so they can see what doesn't need to be fixed, what needs to be fixed immediately, and anything that might require attention. The customer simply clicks on the approved work, enters in the verification code, goes into lighting, and they can confirm. Before we do that, we'll jump back into Workshop Software, go into the requested. One very cool thing, you can see that the customer has actually viewed this particular inspection. So you know that they've looked at it. So we come in here, just go confirm. That work has now been confirmed. Come back into Workshop Software. You can see that there's this approved work. We can open up the job. We can see that it's been approved. And you'll notice here that the item that needs approved has been noted as being approved. Finalize. Then turn that into a booking or an invoice. How cool is that tool? That is super powerful and super useful, and don't underestimate what that means to see when that when they've viewed it, which is really, really super cool, because that the customer's gone and seen that they've opened up your inspection. You could even ring them or email them, that sort of stuff. Get in touch with them if they haven't approved the work, for argument's sake, which is a really cool and powerful tool. And you can see how simple and quick and easy it is. That works awesomely well on things like an iPad or a tablet or anything like that. It's designed for that. Easy to click the buttons, and it's designed so you can use your fingers, and it's great. So let's just now jump into another really cool part of the application, and I want to show you how easy it is that you can sync your data, in this case with Repco, and show you how quickly and easily that works for you. So let's jump in there and check this out. Workshop Software's got a direct integration with Repco Navigator Pro. Let's go take a look. First up, we're going to go and create an invoice. Search for a vehicle in an instant, click the button, and it creates an invoice. We're going to click the Repco Navigator Pro button, which opens up Repco Navigator Pro. We integrate with Navigator and also SmartQuote. In this instance, we're going to go and grab a logbook service from SmartQuote. We're going to choose the 70,000 kilometre service, click the button that says Return Quote. That returns all of that information about that quote directly into Workshop Software. This is all done in real time. So you can see that in 5 seconds, we've literally created a fully fledged quote for a customer or a job, and we can turn this into a job card and print it out for the mechanic, and look at all the efficiency that this creates for your mechanic, knowing exactly what needs to be done and exactly what needs to be checked and replaced and so on. This all comes across with the prices of parts, the right parts, all of that sort of stuff. Think about the efficiency that this creates in your workshop. You do this multiple times a day. How much time is this going to save you every day? How cool is that? Look, this is something that you got to think about again, what time means to you. And I'm going to run through a little time exercise, because from that video, I wanted to show you that, look, even if you're not a Repco client, that doesn't matter. You might be in other parts of the world and they're not even a supplier, but we integrate potentially with other suppliers around the world as well. So just check out your local, your local version of Workshop Software as to what we integrate with. And, but that sort of integration, that sort of creating a job in that sort of time is going to save you so much time. And also think about the accuracy that creates, because being accurate, not having to, order the wrong part or put the wrong part on it, put the wrong time on it even. So, but by choosing things like going into those, systems and getting, the precise information from, the likes of a logbook service, it really does help you to make sure that you're going to get the best and the most out of your business, which is really, really cool. So on that note, let's just do a quick little exercise. I call it the 5-minute exercise, because, again, I want to open your mind to what it means to make improvements and efficiencies in your workshop, and what it can actually have, the effect that this can have on your actual business. One of my favorite business books is a thing called The Slight Edge by a guy called, I'm pretty sure it's Jeff Olson. And this is a book that explains doing small incremental improvements over a long period of time has a massive impact in the long run. And this is part of that slight edge sort of principle, where if you can save just a few minutes on each thing that you do, it actually adds up to a massive outcome. So let's just do this little exercise. Just go with me on this. So first up, I want you to write down how much do you charge an hour. And in this example, I'm going to say you charge $90 an hour. Let's just pretend that that's how much you charge. How many jobs a day do you do? Now, as an example, and for easy maths, I'm going to choose, let's say, 10 jobs. You might do 5, you might do 20, you might do 50. The numbers don't particularly matter, but you can write them down and do the maths yourself. Based upon what you've seen, could you save 5 minutes on each of those jobs that you do? Could you be a little bit more efficient and save 5 minutes on what would that mean? So if you then multiply out $90 by 5 minutes, see, one of the challenges in workshops is what we don't always think about is what an hour's worth to us, because $90 an hour is actually $1.50 a minute. So if you think of every wasted minute is $1.50, or every wasted 5 minutes is $7.50, it soon adds up to a lot of money. So the 90 times 5 minutes is actually $7.50 times 10 jobs a day, and that of course works out to be $75 a day. So when you extrapolate that out over a 5-day week, you're talking about $375 a week. That would be nice, just little extra earner in your pocket, wouldn't it? But then when you work this out to be what it is over a year, have a think about what you think. Think of a number and think about what that's going to be over the year. If you're really good at maths, you would have worked out that that's $19,500 for saving 5 minutes per job on every job that you do over a year is worth essentially $20,000 to you. So this is the principles that I want to help you with. So whether or not the maths is the same for you, it doesn't matter. Whether or not you do 10 jobs, 5 jobs, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whether you save 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 1 minute, that doesn't matter either. But just think about efficiency and what it means to your workshop. So what does that $19,500 mean to you? You know, is it a trip to Paris? You know, imagine doing something special with the wife. Maybe that might be more a thing for what you want to do. So getting yourself a nice little new toy would be a really great for the extra work and the extra efficiencies you've created in your workshop over the years. So, I think that it's an interesting thing. I want you to have a think about what that means for that 5-minute exercise. And because I think it can be a really cool thing that you can just be a little bit more efficient in your workshop, and it's going to make a massive impact to your business. And that's what I think workshop software can help you with. So what we're going to do now is we're actually just going to jump into actual workshop software, and I'm going to show you it in operation, and I'm going to give you a run through all of the major things and show you how to set up stuff. I'm going to show you how to do invoices. I'm going to show you how to buy stuff and sell stuff, be efficient, and get the most out of your workshop. So let's jump in there and check that out right now. Okay, so when you first start up, you've got to enter in your account details, your username and password, and go and log in. Once you log into workshop software, the first place that it's going to take you to is into the dashboard. So the dashboard's got some really cool information. First up, at the top, we have got information that we might want to update you on, or we might even put a link in here to some new cool stuff, all of that sort of business. It's really cool, so that we can communicate with you. You've also got things like the days sales, month sales, weekly sales, which is really great. You can click on open jobs and bookings and so on, so you can actually click on these things and it opens up and it goes into the particular area as to what those things are. So if you wanted to see, for example, the open bookings, you can jump in there and see the open bookings as an example. So it's really simple, quite straightforward. If you wanted to have a look at the past week's sales, it prints out a report of the past week's sales as an example, which is, all this information is just readily on hand and it's super, super simple. So the other cool thing in the dashboard is this recent activity. For starters, you get to see the current transactions and what was done. So you've got what user did some certain things, so you can actually see who's done what and what's been recently updated, that sort of stuff, which is pretty cool. Jobs in progress are jobs that are currently clocked on, so that you've got a mechanic clocked onto these jobs, and then ones that are recently completed. So the recently completed ones is really cool because what you can do is, for example, if you wanted to reprint this, you could just double click and open it, and then, for example, click here and go print the invoice again, or email it off to the client, or whatever the case might be. You can do that really, really easily, which is really cool. So if I wanted to, go and email that invoice, that sort of thing, I can do that. So that recently completed is also a cool little thing as well. In the news feed, this is a good place also where you can get updates for workshop software. So this is some blogs from our website. So, if you wanted to click on here, you can go and open up that particular blog and get a little bit of information about some stuff about what we're doing. So, for example, we might do things about some new stuff that we're doing. We're often any releases, that sort of stuff. We've got videos, that sort of thing. So we keep up to date. And just on new stuff, we're doing new stuff all the time. We're really proactive about your feedback and we love customers and giving us some positive and proactive feedback around how workshop software could even work better for them. So we've done lots of new stuff. We continue to do lots of new stuff, and we're continued to be committed to evolving and growing workshop software on an ongoing basis, which is super cool. And of course, all of those new things we've added into workshop software, they've all been free. So you pay your small amount per month for workshop software, and we've gone and given all of these updates, and there's been no additional charge for all that extra value that we've added. So the other super cool thing about the dashboard is this analysis tab. So you've got things like the sales cost and the profit on a day-by-day basis. You can do things like click here and you can toggle it into a line diagram if you want to do that. So you can go from a bar to a line, which is really cool. You can do things like get other types of reports from here. So for example, if you wanted to get hours booked and things like that, so you can see mechanics hours over time, bookings and jobs that you've got, how many there are, how many bookings and how many completed jobs there've been on particular days, all that sort of stuff. So there's a few different reports, a few different graphs that you can see, all from the booking diary, the job center, I should say. In fact, I should be saying dashboard, shouldn't I? Which is really cool. So, so this is a really good place to get all that key information about what's going on in your business, that sort of thing. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is I want to give you some information about how you can get help, right? So there's a couple of things that we can do. We can click on this question mark up the top right-hand corner, and there's this help guides and resources. So if I click on help guides and resources, this is an area where we have about 150, more than 150 articles and how-to guides and all that sort of stuff. So if you wanted to search for something like iPhone or something like that, you can go and have a look, and there's how to add a mobile user, how to use the workshop software iPhone app, and all that sort of stuff. So if you wanted to do something like that, if you wanted to do something like the booking diary or something like that, you can see all sorts of stuff about a booking and go and search and see various pieces of information about how to do all sorts of different stuff. So and this often has pictures, sometimes videos as well. So it can be quite it's quite got a lot of information in there, which is really cool. And you can see a lot of stuff. A lot of it's got pictures with, like this one here, it's got, click here to save, and here's arrows to do certain stuff. So it's in really simple terms, and this is a really super cool resource for you to search and find all the guides and all that sort of stuff. So, get me up and running quickly, how-to guides, and then there's some guides on all the integrations that we do. So that's a really cool place to go check out first up. If you're talking to one of our tech support people and you want remote support, this is how you get remote support. And then there's a few videos that you can watch which have got various pieces of information about those videos, and you can just click on the links and it jumps into those videos. There's also the quick start training, which is really important, that I certainly suggest you go and have a look at. So this has got, the introduction as the overview, getting a company set up, the bookings, supplier management, and quick start guide to products and services. So these are videos that typically run from about 5 to 15 minutes. They give you a quick overview about what's going on, and it's super, super simple. So definitely worthwhile having a look at those videos and watching those. The other thing that you can do if you want to get help and you need support, just simply send an email to support@workshopsoftware.com, and we will absolutely get onto it as quick as we can, and we're more than happy to help you out. So there's a few ways, and what we would actually just on support, we are always here to help. We love to help. We really want to help you to get the most out of your stuff and get your most out of your business and get the most out of workshop software. But what we will also expect you to do is to help yourself as well. So we would expect that if you're looking for something, that you would, for example, go in here first and go into the help guides, and maybe there's something that you couldn't find, or maybe it wasn't 100% clear and you maybe wanted a bit more info. By all means, send an email to support@workshopsoftware.com. More than happy to help. But please go and try and help yourself first before you contact the support team, because their response may well be, hey, here's here's a guide on how to do this, and that, and more often than not, those guides are really, really helpful. So go check those out. They are a really good resource for you. So that's how you can go and get help and get some information about how workshop software works, which is, again, awesome. So now we're going to jump in and have a look at a few of the operational sort of parts of workshop software. Okay, so a couple of awesome things about workshop software. One is you gotta use this search bar up the top. It is so powerful, so time saving that you'll be using this all the time. What this does is, let's say I wanted to search for a vehicle, for argument's sake, and the registration or the license plate, if you're in the US, is ABC123. I can just start typing the first few characters and it will go off and do a search. This is a global search. In other words, it does a search right across the system. So it will search customers, suppliers, vehicles, products. It'll even search invoice numbers and reference numbers and all those sorts of things. So you can find stuff super, super simply. So you'll notice here that there are some customers, but there are some vehicles as well. If I want to be a little bit more specific and I type in 1, you'll see the search will change. And of course, ABC1, the only thing there are vehicle registrations or license plates. And what I can do is, if this was the vehicle I wanted to work on, I can do things directly from here. I can create a booking, I can create an invoice, I could send the customer an SMS, or I can open the last invoice that was done for this particular vehicle. So that searching is super powerful. So the other thing that you can do here is let's pretend 1054 was a job number that you'd had in the system. So here, this is the 50068 is the invoice number. 1054 is the job number, the job card number, if you like. And you can see that that's an invoice. So if you wanted to find out what that was, you can simply click on it. It will open it up and you can see what was on the invoice as an example. Or let's say the customer wanted another copy. You can email it to the customer. You can reprint it. You can do whatever you like. So that searching box up here is really, really powerful. So the other thing just in here, if I go say ABC1 for argument's sake, and I wanted to create a booking, I just click on create booking and it will start the booking with this ABC, their vehicle, the customer, and it's all ready to go. I can simply come down here and start putting my labor items or products onto the actual booking, which is super simple. The other way that you can go and start, for example, a booking is I can go plus and go customer booking, right? So it's saying, hey, do you want to, you've started something, do you want to continue and lose that? So what I could do is, let's say for argument's sake, I could search for that ABC Electrical and then I could go and find their vehicle and choose it. But you can see that going and just searching for ABC up here and finding them and clicking start booking is a much quicker way to getting to the same result. Right, so it's really a great way of getting to your end result really quickly. You can also use this plus to create things like bookings and invoices and payments and so on. Create a new inspection from the inspection tool. Those sorts of things. That is really easy. But this search button, certainly use that if just use it. The other thing with vehicles is, let's say for argument's sake you chose the wrong vehicle, or it was whatever, it just wasn't the right one, or the guy's got 3 vehicles as in the case in this instance, and you've chosen the Holden. You should have chosen the Mazda. You can click on that, or for example it was you wanted to add a new vehicle. You can just click on the plus and you can add the new vehicle details in and start the invoice with this new vehicle details. So again, these are really simple things to do. I think most of this is sort of follow your nose sort of stuff, and you can put in as much information as you want. So let's say the guy was, it was a Toyota Corolla. For example, it's white and had an odometer of that, and it was a June 2012 model. So I can go and save that, and then that vehicle has been added into my system. So now that's a vehicle that's going to keep its history, all that sort of stuff. And I can go now and add in, say for argument's sake, I'm going to go and do a service. I can just go put in a service, and I'm going to say there's 1 hour on the service. And I'm going to save that, And that now has been a booking that I've gone and saved into the system. Okay, so let's just keep this really simple. We've just put a service onto this new invoice or this new booking that we've created. We've gone and saved the booking. We're going to jump into the booking diary now. So the booking diary by default shows a monthly view, and you can see that this is our current day. We've got and all of these are how booked up each mechanic. So each dot represents a mechanic. So you can see on this particular day, this guy's nearly full. This guy's nearly full as well. This guy's only half full, and this guy doesn't have anything. So you can kind of see exactly what's going on with each of your mechanics on a very simple month view, so which is really cool. You can also go into the week view, and you can see, what's happened on a day-by-day basis and who's booked in. You can hover over it as to how many hours they've got left and all that sort of business. So, and you can see that there's potentially times, somebody's on the phone, for argument's sake, say, hey, I want to book in. You can see what maybe you got Friday afternoon free. You can book in on Friday afternoon. And then you've got a day view as well. So with the day view, there's two options here. One is this list view. So this is the one that we've just created just now. Okay, just going to go back to that. And that's the list view. The other option is you can get it in a calendar view. And the calendar view, if I just go to, for example, another day that's got stuff booked in, you'll see that this has got all of these things are booked in at particular points in time, right? Now, the really cool thing with this is I can just drag and drop this. Let's say the customer says, oh, I'm going to come in later in the afternoon. Fine. Just move that to later on in the afternoon. And now that's been moved for Tony Richards, and that job's been moved to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, so that's the calendar view. Now, you don't have, just to be really clear, you don't actually have to even use the booking diary. You certainly don't have to use the mechanics view like this. You can just use the list view if you want. So see this list view, so you can actually see the jobs, and you can just click on them to open them, which is really easy. I'm just going to go back to click the back button, take me back to where I was. So it's super simple in this list view. So if you want to just use the booking diary from a very simple sort of point of view, you can just use the list, not necessarily allocate it to specific mechanics. If you want to be more specific, you can use the calendar. It's really cool because what you can do is you can go and put it at particular times for particular mechanics and see exactly which mechanic's doing what on what day. So you got the best of both worlds. You can run it either way. It's completely up to you. Let's just go back to our today, and what we've got is we've got this service that we booked in before. So of course in the list view, it's there. In the calendar view, it actually hasn't been assigned to a mechanic yet. So what I can do is I can drag and drop this. So let's say it was going to be assigned to Tony Richards. The customer's going to come in at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we've got that now set for Tony Richards on this particular day. So you can see how easy that is to do. And if I want to move it around, I can just drag and drop it and move it to a different customer if I wanted to. So super simple to do. I can also just click on it and it will open it up as well. So for example, if I wanted to edit the booking, the customer wanted to change the date for argument's sake, something like that. Or if I wanted to actually start the job, I can click on Start Job, and this then turns this into work in progress, right? So this is now moved from the booking diary, it's moved into your job center, and now this is a service that is now ready for you to actually start doing work on. So what I could do now is, for example, I could click here. Okay, so let's just be real clear about that before I jump too fast. I get excited and I jump ahead. So just to understand a few things of some of these icons. The star is the actions icon. So wherever you see that, click on it, you can see what actions are there. So in this instance, let's say you started a customer for ABC Electrical. And what sometimes happens in workshops is you start it for, say, the company, and the guy says, oh, no, I'm paying for this, just charge it to my account. So you can go change customer, you can search for a new customer and change it to a different customer if you wanted to. So that's that action there. We've got things here. This is the list one. So you go back to a grid and you can see in this instance this particular customer's vehicles. So I'll stick with the Corolla that we added in earlier on, but you can change the vehicle, or I can use the plus sign, and the plus sign is add. So in other words, I'm going to add a new vehicle. If I started this as a brand new invoice, I could add a new customer, I could add a new vehicle, and I can also add products as well. So you can click on the plus and add the details, right? So I'm not going to add a new vehicle because we've already seen what that looks like. So let's go and choose that Toyota Corolla, just to be clear about what that is. So the actions here, I can do things like copy invoice. And so Let's say, for argument's sake, you've finished the invoice and it was a big invoice, and you wanted to do it again, or say you've got a customer that does the same thing over time, something like that. You can go and copy an invoice, and it's also good for crediting things actually as well. So you can copy it and credit it. This button is the print button. So what this does is this has got a couple of options for printing and emailing. So I can print the invoice, I can print the job card, or I can email the invoice or job card as well. So in this instance, under normal circumstances, what we would do is we print the job card. So the job card is for the mechanic. So this has got who the customer is up here. It's got the information about the job card. It's got an area here to enter in the new odometer. We've got the customer sort of contact information, which is cool. You got all the information about the vehicle as well. So of course we've just added this vehicle in, so we haven't got things like when the rego's due or the engine number or VIN. But you could even write this on the job card. So the mechanic goes and gets the vehicle identification number, for example. So you can put that sort of stuff in. So you'll notice here I've got the service, and on the service I've got some standard notes which I've already pre-configured when I've set up the service in the first place. You've got some stuff in here for tires, so you can, put in the tire wear on the front and rear of the tires and the brakes as well. And you've got this barcode here. That's for clocking on and clocking off mechanics, or scanning this job to actually find the job when you're on your phone app, which is really cool because you can then clock on, clock off mechanics, or attach a photo to this job as well. So I'm going to show you that in just a second. So I'm going to grab out my phone. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to scan this barcode. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a photo. So just bear with me for a second, because I'm just going to go and take a photo on my phone. So I've scanned that job. And what I'm going to do is just take a photo of the outside of my office. And I'm going to use that photo and I'm going to upload it to this job. So let's go see what that's done. So if I come in here now and I look at attachments and I just refresh this invoice, right, what's actually happening is you will now see that there's the photo. Okay, the sun's shining in. It's not the greatest photo in the world, but what you can see is that that photo has been attached to this job, which is super cool, because what you can do is you can take a few photos of the car, for argument's sake. Let's say things like you've pulled something apart. You can see some wear inside, the vehicle or something like that. You pull the engine apart or the clutch or something, and it's really hard to explain to the customer what it means when you're going to say, hey, look, there's a repair, it's going to cost hundreds of dollars, and you're trying to explain what it means. Whereas if you take a couple of photos, what you can actually do is you can come here and we can now go and click here and go, if we wanted to, for example, print the invoice, email the invoice, what I can do is I can add attachments. So I can say, yes, I want to include that, and I can go and show the customer what that is when I'm doing an invoice. Or what I can do here is I can go and email attachments. And so I can email this to the customer, and I could say work required or whatever, something like that. And I could say, something like, hi, John, this is a photo of, your car that needs fixing, that sort of stuff. So you can say, okay, here's the photo, and you can add that on and you can send it off to the customer. So you've got that explanation that shows them 2, 3, 4, one photo, however many photos you want, of exactly what sort of work you are trying to achieve and what sort of damage has maybe been done to the car. So that's a really cool way of using photos. The other option is that you could use photos just to report damage, for argument's sake. So car comes in, maybe you explain to the customer, hey, look, there's a dent there. I'm just going to take a photo of that and attach it to the job, so we've got some, visual representation just to make sure we've got that on file. Another way that you can use the photos, which is really cool, is just for educational purposes. Let's say you've got an unusual car, or a car that you don't get in very often, some sort of work that you're doing and you don't do it very often, or you've pulled something apart and you've found something that you really wanted to report on that, you want to make sure, geez, if this happens again, I really want to know that. So you could take a couple of photos of it, you could attach it to the job. Then when that vehicle comes in 12 months' time, for argument's sake, you can go, hey, let's go back and choose, that other customer that's got that same vehicle and go and have a look at those photos again. Oh, that's right. Here's what happened to that particular one. And you could even use it for an educational sort of system or viewpoint, because the photos don't have to be, you don't have to email them. You can email them to the customer. You don't have to, but they can just be there for your own purposes. Indeed, you can even just upload a file. So if you go and just click on upload, you got to choose the file. That's what I've done wrong. So go choose the file, choose what it is, go open, and then click on upload, and you can upload that file into here as well. So say for argument's sake, you had some document or something like that, you could also attach that onto the invoice as well, which is, again, a really cool thing. So what we've done now, just to go back to where we were with doing the actual work itself, there's a couple of interesting things that you can do on here. So the couple of things that I want to show you first up is the job status. So the job status there's a few statuses here. So you can have work in progress, waiting for parts, which is really cool if, you want to just change the status because you're waiting for parts to be delivered. Job's been completed. So the mechanic's done the work, but we maybe haven't notified the customer yet. Customer notified is when you've actually said to the customer, hey, your vehicle's due for pickup. We've done the work. We've notified that customer. And then you might want to say complete. We're just waiting to finalize the invoice. In other words, we're just waiting to print out the invoice, and then finalize it's basically done, and it's all out of here. This is really cool because I want to show you something in the Job Center in just a second. But along with the status is this job status comment. So, for example, if I want to say, customer requires pickup by 2 p.m. or something like that. You can type in whatever you want. You can have that as a status comment. If we save that, what an area of the system that you're going to use day in, day out is this job center. The job center is the area of the system where you can see all your jobs. So here you can see that status comment, and you can see what the status is. So that's work in progress, and you can see what the status comment is. So you can also do something really cool here, which is you can say, okay, show me the ones which are just got job complete. So you can see that these are the ones that have got that job complete status. So it's really good. Show me the ones that I've notified the customer, or jobs complete. These are ones that you haven't notified the customer. You've actually done the work, but you haven't told the customer yet. So this is a really good way of managing your actual jobs and making sure that you're completely on top of your jobs. The other thing with the Job Center is that you can just double click on a job and go back into it. So for argument's sake, we've gone and printed out that job card. We've now got the mechanic's gone off and done the work. The mechanic then comes back, and we need to maybe add parts onto here. So let's say we're going to put on an air filter and say a set of spark plugs. Let's say there were 4 spark plugs, that sort of thing. We can go and add in all of our products. We can even add a new product in if we want. So we can call this new product just for argument's sake, and go add it in, and you can basically just enter in the description, the price and the cost and all that sort of stuff, and you can create that product, and that product will be in the system as a product in your stock file. So once we've got this and we're happy that the invoice is correct, we can go and finalize it. But a couple of things that I want to show you just before we do that. First up is this is where I can click on here and I can put in the notes. So you'll notice here that this is an area where I've already got a whole heap of notes already entered in here against this particular job. So I've got that pre-configured, but what I could do is I can edit the notes. I can type stuff, put in whatever I want, and edit those notes if I wanted to. You could delete certain parts of it. Let's say you didn't check something, you didn't check that, you can delete it off, whatever, that sort of thing. So this is the notes that print on the invoice, and this is the notes that are going to print on the job card, and they're the notes we saw before when we printed the job card out. So you can put notes on anything, on any product, anything like that, completely up to you. The other thing is that we can put invoice notes on generally at the bottom of the invoice. So these are typically stuff that maybe you've come back to, something needs to be done. You can also use this template. So what we can do is, let's say for argument's sake, the brakes, we can go select, and here's a brakes report. The fronts only 30% worn, and the rears are, let's say, 40% worn. We're going to print that onto the invoice. You want to put in the major service stuff. We carried out certain things, whatever. But those templates, you can type out whatever you want on those templates and put those templates onto the invoice notes or the job card notes for that matter, completely up to you. The other couple of little things here is in here we can add a deposit and we can add a discount. So let's say, for argument's sake, you were selling, you're a motorcycle place and you sell accessories and you sell a leather jacket, for argument's sake. You're going to go and order that in. You might sell the customer, put the product on, you're going to go add deposit, and you're then going to say, okay, we've received $20 in cash or whatever the payment type is. We can go add, and that's gone and added that deposit on there. The other thing that you can do is you can go and add a discount. So let's say I want to add in either a cash, like an amount, or a percentage. So I can say, okay, I'm going to give a $15 discount and go and add that on. You'll see that that's gone and added the discount in, including GST. In this instance, we've got tax on it, and you've gone and added that discount. So you can do things like adjust the discount. So you might want to delete it or whatever. You can do whatever you like. So there's a couple of little cool things as well. And what we're going to do now is let's go and process this invoice. So I'm going to go and process it. And yes, I am. And that invoice is now processed. It's gone against, in this instance, that customer is an account customer. So I can go and do a payment for that. And, if the customer pays on a month by month or on statement, that sort of thing. So that will go against that customer's account. So if I click on the customer here, that's another cool thing too. You can click on that and it's a hyperlink into that particular customer. So down here, if we scroll down a little bit further, you'll see, for starters, the vehicles. You'll see the invoices, and there's that invoice that I just did. And you'll see payments that have been made and any bookings that this customer has as well. So this particular booking is closed and so on. So you've got all of the history and information on that particular customer. I'm just going to press the back key because I just want to take you back into the invoice, because you can also do the same thing with the vehicle. So if I click on the vehicle, here's all the information about the vehicle and I could edit it. So for example, if the mechanic has put in things like the vehicle identification number and the engine number and so on, or particular pieces of info on the job card, I can go and add that information in there. The other thing is I can see the service history. So here's what was done. This was a service. It was an invoice that's been processed. It was for $84. I can double click on it and I can open it up and see that invoice, right? And I could reprint it, for example, or that sort of thing. So completely super easy to do, quite intuitive to go into different things, and away you go. Again, the other way that you can do this is, let's say I wanted to search for ABC Electrical. I can click on ABC Electrical and open up their account, so to speak, so I can see all of their details. So different way to get to the same result again. So, that's a bit of an overview about how the booking diary, the job center, and how you go and do invoices and so on. One other thing I want to show you is how to do a quick cash sale. So in here, I've got a couple of customers. I've got a cash sale and a cash sale trade. Cash sale trade gets a bit of a discount. In this instance, I'm going to click on let's do an invoice, which is this button here for this particular customer. I'm going to sell him, let's say, these same spark plugs. I'm going to sell him 4 spark plugs. I'm going to go process. Do you want to process this invoice? They're paid by cash. I'm happy with that. Process it. Do I want to print it out? Yes, I'm going to print it out. That was all done in real time. Go print, and away it's done. Super simple, super quick, super easy. That took, literally 10 seconds. So that's how you can do a really quick cash sale for your customer. So it's really easy to do. Okay, so now you've got a bit of an idea about how Workshop operates and, how to get around it and all that sort of stuff. So if you use the principles that I've shown you so far, I'm sure you'll work out how to do things such as, supplier stock orders, supplier invoices, how to do payments, even customer payments and so on. So it's actually, you can go, if you're searching for a supplier, so ABC Parts Store or something like that, you can then go here and, start an invoice for them, for example, and, go off through the same process. So use the stars, remember that, how that works, all of those sorts of things. So I want to just show you a few other bits and pieces that happen in Workshop software. So first up, there's mechanics and how you can go and add your mechanics. Now, one thing that we get asked about quite a bit is that you need to be able to set up, you need to add mechanics. If you want to use the phone app, you've got the user for the phone app needs to be set up as a mechanic. Now, when you use the phone app, adding a user, it's free. You can add 100 users in it, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all free. But what you need to do is you need to go under settings, well, first of all, you need to have a mechanic set up. And then secondly, you need to go into user setup and maintenance. So you'll see in here, I've got some users already pre-configured, but I've also got some mobile users. So what a mobile user is essentially a mechanic. So if I click on the plus sign, I can choose the mechanic from a list. So if I choose, say, Bill, okay, and go and choose Bill and his status is active, I can put in an email address, okay. Now look, in terms of the email, it actually doesn't really have to be an email address. It just needs to be in the format of an email address. So what you can do is you can put in, fred@mycompany.com, right? So, whatever your company name is, that sort of stuff. Make a password, confirm the password, and away you go, and go save. And that will add the user into the system, and they will be able to log in on the app. So the app then knows who the mechanic is because it's attached to this mechanic, okay? So what that means is then when the mechanic clocks on and clocks off using the app, we're going to know that it was Bill Turner that was doing the work. Okay, so that's how that works. So that's something we get asked quite a bit because what often happens is you'll go and try and log in using your just normal workshop software username and password. You can't use that on the phone app. You need to create what we call a mobile user. Pretty easy to do, but just a step that you need to do. Once you've got it set up, it's super simple to do. So that's that user setup and maintenance. The other thing is just some things in the company settings. I'm not going to go through this in a huge amount of detail because if you go into the quick start training, okay, watch the quick start training. Watch this first video. Let me just pause that. Watch this getting started, setting up your companies. Also watch the supplier and the products and services because that's some stuff that we haven't gone through in this particular masterclass. We've gone through the bookings and that sort of in a reasonable amount of detail. So, it's probably good to watch as well. But have a look at that profile setting. But this is where you set up stuff. So particularly things like your, what time zone you're in, that sort of thing. The vehicle groups are really important as well. You'll see that I've got more than probably what anybody else is ever going to have. But what you can do, depending on what sort of business you are, because we deal with all sorts of, like here, we deal with bicycle repairers. So you can have all sorts of different things. And inside of, say trailers and trucks and so on, there's all sorts of different body types. So if you go into the vehicle, for example, and I just pick up a random vehicle and you see the body type here, there are, because I've got all those different groups. You wouldn't normally have, if you don't have trucks, for example, I think is what loader is put under, or heavy truck, that sort of thing. You won't, you won't need to see that sort of stuff in your list. So, there's stuff about motorcycles and all that sort of stuff. So if you're a motorcycle repairer and you've got that set up in your company settings because you've got motorcycles in here, that's how that comes about. There's some things to tax setting, what your tax name is. So, for example, this could be GST, it could just be sales tax, could be VAT, all of those sorts of things. You got things like some, what default format of your invoice is, that sort of stuff. Again, you want more detail about this, go and watch that video. But there are a number of different settings. The other thing that I wanted to touch on too is in the vehicle, if I just choose, and I'm just going to show you another way to search just for the hell of it, because you saw the search up here. You can also search in here, which is a filter just on the section that you're in. So if I'm in vehicles and I type in ABC, I'm just searching for vehicles that have got ABC in them. So in this instance, I'm going to double click on that, and what I wanted to show you is this service interval. So this service interval is set for 6 months, right? So what happens is the last service was done on the 23rd of the 8th. If I go in here, well, that's automatically calculated the next service date, and which is what the system will do based upon your product. Let me just jump into the products, and again, I'm going to filter. So I'm going to choose service. So if I just double click on this job, so this is a job that I've just called service, and I can have multiple if I want. As you probably saw previously, there were different things, but there is this tag here which says that it's a service yes, means that this will update the service interval. So if we remember in the vehicle that we just saw, it's got service interval of 6 months. If you go and do a job or an item or a product that's got service tick to yes, it will automatically update the date. So in other words, you do a service today, the interval is set, for example, for 6 months. It will automatically calculate 6 months from now. while we're here, just on the products, a couple of really cool things about the products. You got different types of products, so stock, labor, sublet, consumable, accessories, and tires. You can report on them differently. They also update differently in the general ledger when you integrate into your accounting packages, so Xero, QuickBooks, MYOB, Sage. That will go in, can, if you want, go into different areas. The other thing we can do is this standard and what we call a bundle or a kit. So if you go and put products in here, you can create this as a bundle or a kit. So you just go and add extra products in. So for argument's sake, if every time you did a service, you wanted to put in an environmental levy, for example, or something like that. Have I got such a thing? But I think you get the idea. So I can go and put in a levy or something like that. An environmental compliance fee, right? So I can say, okay, I'm going to charge $10 on every one of those. I can go and do that, save, and then every time I do a service, that product will automatically come up on the invoice. So that's the bundled product. A standard product is just one that doesn't have a kit, doesn't have a bundle. And of course, in here you got history, you got stock orders, purchases, and when a stock take was done against this product. So again, there's a good video on the products. Go check that out as well. But I wanted to show you that service interval, so that service time, and then under settings and then under reminders, if we jump in there, this is where you can go automatically send your reminders. You just set up your email, SMS, how many days before you want to do it, 14 days, 7 days, however many days. You've got registration renewal as well. You've got booking reminder messages, so you want to send them. So you 3 days before somebody has a booking, hey, your vehicle with registration number such and such is booked in on booking date, looking forward to seeing you. You can type in whatever you want in there, which is really cool. So this all just happens in the background. This is that customer service that's that next level that we spoke about earlier on that just takes your system, takes your workshop to the next level. So this is super, super, super important. It's so easy to set up and so so straightforward that you probably don't think how important it is, but it is just so important. And as I said earlier, this part of the system on its own will more than pay for the application itself. So, workshop software is only a few bucks a month. It costs you next to nothing. Just doing this is super cool. So, look, that's the overview of workshop software. I could go into a lot more detail. I've already taken up a heap of your time, and in terms of wanting to make sure that I respect your time, I'm going to jump back into the general presentation now and just run through a couple of last things that I wanted to go over with you and finish up. But that's a bit of an overview of workshop software. Like I say, heaps more stuff that you could be looking at, but I'm sure once you get the basics and you understand how the system works generally, you can go and delve into all those other areas yourself. It's really straightforward to do. So I hope you got some really great value out of seeing, that presentation of workshop software. It's, as you can see, there's lots to it. Super cool. Look, I'm just going to take literally 5 more minutes of your time, if that's all right, and just go over a few last things. But look, these are really important things, and I think that it's an important area of you knowing about workshop software. So just a few common questions. So what if I need help? I showed you in that presentation just now about how to get help. You can send an email to support@workshopsoftware.com. There's heaps of resources, all of that sort of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff there. But we've got 30 years of experience. More actually, 33 years, and we know workshops. We've dealt with you guys. We've dealt with thousands of different workshops, and so we typically are able to answer your question really, really quickly and easily. So, like I say, how is it right for ETH? There's thousands of users. We literally install workshop software or sell workshop software, every single day to multiple sites a day. And we're literally getting, a growing number of users. And it's so simple because you just go to the website, take out a trial. It's really, really easy. I hope that I've shown you what the system can do for you. So there's those little chunks of gold that you want to make sure that it's really important that that's where you're going to get the value. It's take out a free trial. Check out the testimonial page on the website as well, because that's a really it's great for me to sit here and say, hey, it's amazing and it's the best thing ever. But have a look on the testimonial page, the feedback page on the website. It's got heaps of info on there. there. So you're able to see what, users, just like you have said. We get lots and lots and lots of positive feedback, which is really, really fantastic, which is great. So we often get asked about, can I get data from my existing system? Typically, the answer to that is yes. It does depend on the system and whether or not you can get the data out of that system. So most systems you can get data out of. Assuming you can get it out, we can import it. You can import it yourself. There's a really simple import process that you could use. If you need our help, we're here to help you as well. So, we're more than happy to help you through that process as well. We go through that and do that for quite a lot of clients, and more than happy to help out with importing your data. So look, I think this is a really important question because what's going to happen in the future with you might go out and buy a software package today and pay X amount of dollars for it and have it installed or whatever. If it doesn't change with what's going to happen in the future, then you've really bought a dud, to be quite honest. And I've seen so many businesses go out and buy applications and come back then to us and say, wow, I didn't buy the right application because that company, that the application was good at the time, but now it's not, because the company is not committed to future updates and future enhancements and making industry changes and technological changes of what's going on in the future. And with our previous history, particularly with workshop software over the last 2 or 3 years, we've done lots of new features, lots of new cool things, got feedback from clients. As new things become available, we've gone and added them into the system, and we plan to do that in the future. We want to make sure that the stuff that we're adding is valuable and doesn't overcomplicate the system, so there's that real balance between making it super simple but also making it really effective, and I think we've done a really great job at that. But that's not to be underestimated, how important it is to deal with a reputable organisation that's got a great track record and has got the future thinking about what's going to happen in the future. And, we're 100% committed to workshop software and what it's going to do, now into the future, 10, 20, 100 years from now, potentially. Who knows what's going to happen. But certainly, we've got a great vision for what's going to happen with workshop software into the future. So where can I use workshop software? So this is another thing that, some people might not even realize, but this is a browser-based. It's on the web. So you can be anywhere, anytime, any device. You can use it on an iPad. You can use it potentially, you can even use it on a phone. Look, in fairness, it's not designed to use on a phone all day, every day. But if you wanted to go and edit a particular job or, go and do something in particular on the phone, maybe run a report or something like that, you can certainly do that. But it's designed that you can use it on any device, anytime. It's super simple. So you can be on holidays, you could be at home. Oh, geez, I wanted to check a job or I needed to update something. You can do it anywhere, anytime. So how many users can I have? You can have an unlimited number of users. So, complete clarity, users is the way we charge. We felt that was the fairest way that we can charge. We have a very small upfront cost for workshop software. You get one user included with that. If you wanted to have another user logging in at the same time, you pay a small monthly fee for that additional user. It's not much. But it is at the same time. So just for complete clarity, if you want to log in at the office or at work, and then you wanted to log in at home on a different device, that's one user. You don't need an extra user for that. It's only if you want another user to log in at the same time. And again, as you saw in that presentation just before, the mobile users are completely free. You can have 1, 5, 10, 100 mechanics using the apps, using the clocking on, clocking off mechanic and the photos, and it's super, super simple. And that side of things is completely free. So what computer and hardware do I need? So this is the other interesting thing, because we get people that we see who have bought servers, they've bought complicated networks in their workshops, they've got backup, maintenance and upgrades and all sorts of stuff. You don't need to do that. With workshop software, all you need is a device and connection to the internet. So, if you've got 5 people that want to use it in your workshop at any one time, you could get 5 iPads or 5 tablets or 5, notebooks. As long as they got connection to the internet, that's all you need. So don't go spending thousands of dollars on server. Don't go spending, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on backups and maintenance and upgrading your operating systems and buying operating systems and all that sort of stuff. With Workshop software, all you need is a device and a connection to the internet. So it is super, super simple. So lastly, let's go through what you get. $49 a month. You get all the customer and vehicle and supplier stuff, job management, all that one click and operate it anywhere because it's online. Super, super simple. That's searching. You get the reminders, integrate it with Repco and some other integrations that we've got as well. Integrate it with all the accounting packages too. There's heaps of reports, which I didn't actually show you. Probably should have shown you that. But have a look at the reports. There's lots and lots of reports, sales reports, productivity reports, product reports, all sorts of stuff, all included. The stock management, the booking diary, the accounting integration, you get the app. It's all there, all really, really simple, all straightforward. Wow, thanks for getting this far along in the masterclass. I really want to congratulate you because you've made a massive effort for your business. It's helped your business to be more profitable. Hope you've learned something along the way. And if you're going to use Workshop software in your business, I know that it's going to be a great tool to help you be more streamlined and more profitable. So if you've taken out a trial and you're utilizing Workshop software, that's great. Have a go through the trial. And if you feel that it's the right thing for your business, it's really simple to activate and purchase it if that's what you want to do. So if you wanted to purchase the application and use it live, you simply click on this activate button up in the top right hand corner, put your details in, and away you go. Once that happens, what happens here in our team is that one of our team will help you through the process. So you'll have an onboarding coach who will take you through the process of getting you up and running once you've activated, and they will help you with, some of those questions and give you some tips and tricks on how to get the most out of Workshop software. Of course, while you're in the sales process and you're just in the trialing process as well, feel free to contact us. The sales team here is able to help you out as well. Feel free to contact us and we're there to help you. So once again, want to say thanks. Any details, if you want to contact me directly, there's my email address, james@workshopsoftware.com, or feel free to contact any of my team if that's what you want to do. Once again, I really want to congratulate you. I know that Workshop software can be a massive change to your business. It's now time to take action. Give it a go through the trial, assuming it's working and it's going to be great for your business, which I'm sure it will be. Go and activate it, purchase it, and use it, and it'll make your business different and it'll grow your business. Thanks again. All the best.